So it was first flown by a German aviation pioneer Otto Lilienthal in 1894. The Lilienthal Standard Glider was the single most influential wedge aircraft prior to work of the Wright brothers. Lilienthal made some of 2,000 flights in at least 16 different glider types between 1891 and 1896. The larger number of flights were made with the Standard Glider, a monoplane aircraft with a stabilizing tail at the rear and with wings that resemble the outspread pinions of a soaring bird. So, unsa na siya resemble the outspread pinions daw of a soaring bird. The wing ribs and other covered by portion of the aircraft were usually constructed of split willow. The wing covering was cotton twill shearling doped with a colloidal solution to make it more airtight. So in the standard glider, the operator hung suspended between the two halves of the wing. The operator shifted his weight to move the center of gravity and exercise some measure of control over the motion of the craft. Although Lilienthal recognized the danger and inadequacy of this method of flight control and gave some thought to alternative systems, so he did not develop or test them. Little sold several standard gliders to other experimenters as far distant as Russia and the United States. Lilienthal was flying a standard glider at an altitude of about 15 meters 50 feet on the August 9, 1896. When his plane stalled and crashed, he died the next day in the Berlin hospital. Namatay na po siya. Muna siya si Lilienthal Glider daw. Muna siya ang illustration. So, Santos Dumont's Airship. So, he is the heir of a wealthy family of a coffee producer, Santos Dumont. Dedicated himself to aeronautical study and experimentation in Paris, where he spent most of his adult life. In his early career, he designed, built, and flew hot air balloons, and early dirigibles, culminating in his winning in the Dutch de la Meurthe Prize on 19 October 1901 for a flight that rounded the Eiffel Tower. So, labay daw siya sa Eiffel Tower. He turned to heavier than air machine. So, heavier than air machine. And on October 23, 1906, his 14 bis made the first powered heavier than air flight in Europe to be certified by the Aero Club de France and the Federation of Aeronautique internationally. It was also the first powered flight to be publicly witnessed by a crowd. So, first powered flight na nakita daw sa mga tao. And take-off unassisted, so wala nag-assist, by an external launch system. His conviction that aviation would usher in an era of worldwide peace and prosperity lead him to freely publish his designs and forgo patenting his various innovations. So, the Wright brothers flying machine. So, Wright brothers, these are the illustration given. Muna silang ginabuhat sa Wright brothers at the time is Orville and Wilbur were the two American aviation pioneers generally credited with inventing, building, and flying the world's first successful motor-operated airplane. So first, to take note and remember class that it is the first successful motor-operated airplane. In 1904 and 1905, the Wright brothers developed the first flying machine to make a longer running and more aerodynamic flights, with the Wright Flyer second, followed by the first truly practical fixed-wing aircraft. The Wright Flyer the third, the brothers' breakthrough was their creation of the three-axis control system. So because of the three-axis control systems, it enables them, the pilot, to steer the aircraft effectively and to maintain its equilibrium. So iyang balance. So unsay gibuild sa Wright brothers no, muna na modify o na lift ang ilang airplane sa others, ang three-axis control system. Take note of that class. This method remains standard on fixed-wing aircraft of all kinds. From the beginning of their aeronautical work, Wilbur and Orville focused on developing a reliable method of pilot control as the key to solving the flying problem. This approach differed significantly from other experiments of the time, who who put more emphasis on developing powerful engines using a small home built with wind tunnel. The Wright also collected more accurate data than any before, enabling them to design more efficient wings and propellers. Their first US patent did not claim invention of a flying machine but rather a system of aerodynamic control that manipulated flying machine surface, which is the three-axis control system. So that is all of our lesson today, class, and we will continue our studies and history of the traffic management's lecture next week. Thank you and God bless. Before we conduct our lecture next week, so we will have also a short quiz about our discussion today. Thank you once again. God bless.